Hi, my name is Uriel and I am part of the KMI Lab group, and I'm making this tutorial in January of 2026 with the purpose of helping people to quickly put websites hosted via GitHub pages online without the hassle to having to handle JavaScript and HTML files. For this, we use what is known as Jupyter Book. We'll see how to install it, also how to install an access node, which is the interpreter for JavaScript, and how to wrap everything inside of a virtual environment that can create the final product. So here we are in a folder in my computer. I am using the Windows 11 operative system, and I have already a virtual environment. There's different ways that you can create a virtual environment, but this is a type of access to the Python interpreter with specific packages and versions of those packages that are installed in this .bmb file. To access it, we can type cmd and we can type bmb / in my case, because this is Windows, and then scripts and then activate. That is a bat file, which is the Windows file, executable file. And this will give us access to the Python interpreter, and I can type pip list. If you are unsure on how to install virtual environments, I recommend you to take a look to a quick guide offline. Generally, you need to have a specific package environment manager, which could be a Python standalone version or also Anaconda. Depending on what you want to do and how much files you want to get installed every time, you may want to opt for one specific version versus another. So here we can see that among other stuff, we already have Jupyter Book installed. To install it, with the virtual environment active, you can say pip install Jupyter -book. In my case, I always make typos, install Jupyter Book. In my case, it has already been installed, so everything is up to date and it tells me that. However, in your case, it will probably install it for the first time. Then we could initialize it, but the problem is that we are missing Node, which is the JavaScript interpreter. There is multiple ways to get access to this. One of them is to install it, the standalone version, and actually it may be the easiest way to do that. It's a standalone executable file that you can download, and it gets added to your environment's variable, path variables, so that you can call it directly from the terminal. What I did, however, was a little bit more cumbersome because I didn't want Node to just install whatever it wanted. I wanted a specific version of Node to be installed, and that involves an package manager. My version runs in the PowerShell. If I run Node, it shows me the installation there. I'm running version 20, and I install it via fnm. Which gives me basically an environment manager, after which I was able to ask which specific version of Node I wanted to install. However, the priority right now is to access the folder where our repository is going to live. So we need a repository. Let's go back to the internet and let's go to GitHub, where we can click on new repository. And we can create a new repository called test website Novi. I'm gonna copy this so that I can call my folder the same thing. And in the description, erase after done so that I don't forget. I'm gonna press enter, and this will give me access to the series of instructions that I need to run in order to run the repository. So I'm gonna copy this. And in the folder, I'm gonna create a new folder called Novi website. I thought I had copied it, but I lost it already. I'm gonna enter this folder, and in there, I'm gonna initialize GitHub. I'm gonna press Ctrl L in my Windows machine to open a terminal in here. And I'm simply gonna paste what GitHub said I should have pasted. If you're working with Windows, you may encounter this issue right here. It says because I am running my GitHub repository in a folder located in an external hard drive, there is a security risk. So I need to enable through the global configuration that this is a safe directory. I right click in here, which is what the computer is asking me to do, and then that should do it. I'm going to go back to GitHub to copy these commands, and I'm going to paste it once more. This time everything seems to work. I did a pull, I did an init, commit, and push on the repository, and now it's online. So if I press Ctrl R, you can see that we have the README file that was created and everything is in order. The next step, I'm done here with this terminal, so I'm going to close it. But I still need this terminal, which is the PowerShell. And I need it because I have Node in the PowerShell. So we need to enter the directory, Novi website, say cd that. And in there, we can see that there is the README file. I actually need to go back one level because that is where I have the virtual environment. So I'm going to activate it again. .bmb, because that's what it's called, scripts, and activate, just like I did before. At this stage, I just redid what I had done in the command prompt with the purpose of gaining access to Jupyter Book. Then I enter the Novi website once more. Good. Now we need to initialize Jupyter Book. We type Jupyter Book init, and that will ask us if we want to run the Jupyter Book start now. In order to do that, we would need to have a markdown other than README that already contains information that will make our website. So I'm going to say no, and everything's fine. I'm going to erase this README. I don't want it there. And instead, I'm going to copy some of the contents that Rodrigo already shared with me when we were trying to figure this out. And that should be, let me see. Let's take this one. This is a Jupyter notebook. It also works with markdown files. And let's paste it here in the linear models. Let's take also a look at mis.yaml so that you can see what's inside. This contains metadata, information that references the authorship, title, and description of the website that is going to get created. And down here inside, you have the name of the template, which is the layout of the website that will be created, which in this case, by default, is book theme, which is a nice theme. Let's close this. And now, with the PowerShell on the side, we can see how the website looks like. We can, I think, type Jupyter Book Start. And that is going to pull and create some a new folder that contains a lot of JavaScripts, which are behaviors, and HTMLs that basically work as the book theme template, a functional book theme template downloaded from the internet. This may take a little bit of time, but once it's done, we would be able to see a local server that is just pointing our computer that is running the website locally. Through the magic of video editing, we'll make this process instant, and I'll see you once it's finished. Okay, and so the process has been done, and now it tells us that there is a local host that is accessible at this point, so I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go back to the browser. Here, I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to paste localhost 3000. Notice that here we have the view of what our website is going to look like. It is nice because it already has a very functional set of toolbars like light mode and search bar, etc. Now let's take down this page and let's see how we can put it on GitHub. To put something on GitHub, we say Jupyter Book init --gh-pages. So here we're gonna deploy this website directly from main. You could do it from secondary branches if you want the code of a library and the documentation to be in separate branches. But in this case, we're gonna keep it in the same. Then we're gonna call it from deploy.yaml. That's totally fine. That was created when we called start on the website when we exposed the local server. And now it tells us that it's done. It has created the workflow. So what we need to do now is to use the GitHub Actions in GitHub in order to make the website online. So let's take a look at this process. Let's go back to the repository and we go to settings. In settings, we go down to pages. And there you can deploy from a branch or from GitHub Actions. So I'm gonna select GitHub Actions. Oops, I click on something I shouldn't have. And that's it. So let's go back to the terminal. Here, it tells us that we need to add an add, commit, and push, right? So you need to merge this with main, or you need to publish these changes on via GitHub. So we say git add dot to add everything, git commit -m first version website. Let's call it. And then we do git push. If we go to the code, you will notice that now there is a lot of information, among which there is this GitHub workflows. That's where the deploy YAML is located, and that's what gives us gives GitHub the instructions on how to run in the GitHub servers, not in your computer, but in their servers, the instructions required to run the website, which is what it's doing right now. Notice that it is running with an orange circle. Once this turns green, it says that the process is done and then our website is online. So let's give it a minute. Okay, now the circle is green and we can go to settings, go to pages, and here is the name of our published website. I'm gonna copy this, then click on it, and there you go. Now, if you go on a different device to this website, you should be able to see it. It is now online. Okay, so I hope that this mini tutorial helps you. And before we leave, there is one more thing that I recommend you to do, and that is to go back to GitHub, then in code. You can see here on the right side that there is a tiny settings gear button. If I click in there, you will notice that one of the topics says website, and that's where I'm going to put this link so that I don't have to go to settings myself and copy it directly and then access it, right? There is actually another reason why this is a good idea, and it is because other users that may visit your repository won't be able to access settings. So they will have no idea what the website link is. If you put it here, however, then everybody can access. Okay, well, hopefully this helps, and good luck making your websites with Jupyter Book.